G'day everybody. Now I want to talk about that I've talked about before. When it comes to defence, every country has a different area where they spend more money in a certain defence. So if you're on a big mainland, you're connected to other countries, you need more defence budget in tanks and stuff like that, as they can reach you with them easier, so you're more of a threat, more likely to happen, and they become quick, as you're on land. When you're on islands, you have a different defence thing. That's for defence, right? Then you have attack, army for if you need to attack. Right? You spend so much and have a certain section on that, right, to retaliate. Right? And here in Australia, we're surrounded by water. So here in Australia, our defence is ships and aeroplanes, right? And rockets, as you can say. Right? And islands that can have rockets on there. And cannons, you can say that too in some sort of ways. Right? And big wall would help us in defence when it comes to defending this country. So if we don't have many ships, many submarines, many planes, right, is our top priority, then we're failing our top priority. So that'll be like being America or certain countries, right, any countries, or being Russia. And let's put Russia's pretty connected, or Israel, right? And their top priority was to have shitload of subs. So they go, yeah, but we've got 100 subs, man, all top shit. Right? Does that mean anything? What does that mean? That means they can run into the subs and then maybe defend the fish in there pretty good. They maybe have an underground base in the sea. You know what I mean? And so if you want to know if your country's doing good, well, you check out those military areas. You go, what do we mostly need? And if we're a country that needs all these things, then what will help us mostly protect from that? Which is what other countries have shown us. You've got tanks coming after you. You want to have a line of anti-tank, pain in the ass obstacles to make things harder than to just have weapons to blow up tanks and tanks against tanks. You can use things around your mountains and make certain areas and use that in all sorts of benefits instead of just one. When you go to do something, you go, how else can we use this area? This anti-tank area could be still farmed, right? But it can also stop tanks from getting so easy through areas just by using the local boulders that are around. They don't have to be all nice and pocked out with concrete, but things like that. But anyway, have a good one. And what do you believe your country needs when it comes to top priorities and from the top most? So I'd say here in Australia, top. When it comes to costly as well, more to have. If you ever play a video game, I've talked about this before too, is that you have all this equipment and you have so much budget and you got to find out what's the best for its money for your budget. I used to be really good at that, as I've talked about, when it comes to war games. And you find out what's the best, what's good to build quickly at certain times to defend if you need to pump it out quick, cheap, and what's the best of that, and so on, until you know better, until you get the upgrades in the game, and then you get more of what could be better. Now, it doesn't mean in these games too, some of the best shit was 3 times more the cost. And what do you mean by that? That means if I actually sent 3 vehicles at this thing in another way, it costs the same amount, right? I could more likely and direct them, you go this way, you go that way, and stuff like that. Not always, some of them just all 3 towards it. You could beat this vehicle because it might have a laser that goes 10 seconds when it hits you, it gets you something big, boom. And it's good to get walls and it's good to get any big targets. But if you've got a few little targets, it's only going to take one. And while it's doing that, these little targets go like you see in space shows where they've got spaceships flying around, huh? You might even have another one dude that walks over with the rocket and just goes, while he's doing that, he's got to go, you can only kill one dude at a time, so you can have 50 dudes in. His tank's going, kaboom over here, but they're over here, and there's rockets coming in. It can take a few, but it can't take too many. And all of a sudden, boom. Less cost. Using your money wisely, your materials more wisely as well. Makes you a better game player. So if you want to know if someone's good at war strategies, well, you get them to play war strategy games. And it helps them figure out war strategy besides learning with books and education in the real life and what goes around us. But anyway, have a good one. And war games was one of my things I'd used to play all the time when I had nothing else to do or couldn't go nowhere and things like that. In fact, I got addicted a little bit where I started denying those things when I could. And I had to get over that addiction of games. Didn't I, Emma? Yeah, and I did quite well. And I'm not addicted to games, and it's been a long time since I have. Hey, isn't that right, Emma? Mm-hmm. But who's got a game addiction now because she's had a health problem and stuff like that? Emma, yes. Anyway, have a good one, everybody, and see you later.